This manhwa is about how fierce monsters entered our world and humanity, in turn, awakened their power and started hunting monsters for fame and money. The action took place in the hunting zone, where continuous gunfire could be heard. Automatic bursts and grenade explosions were heard throughout the area. Armed people were shooting at some target from rifles and grenade launchers. The final explosion was heard, and the squad leader ordered to stop shooting. The smoke cleared, and the squad stared in horror at the monstrous creature torn apart by the explosion. No one knew how many such monsters were in the area. The commander ordered everyone to regroup and replenish ammunition, as the monsters could appear at any moment. The shots made a lot of noise, and these creatures could have heard it and come running. The commander turned at the sound that came from the forest. It seemed that the target was very close. A guy named SungHoon was used as bait for the monsters. He was covered in a special spray to attract monsters. According to the plan, he had to move along the planned route. The guy did not intend to die, so he had to follow the plan. The monster approached. Twigs and stones were flying around. Finally, the monster appeared. Its huge body and hefty horns could intimidate anyone. Everyone was on alert. At that moment, the monster smelled the bait. SungHoon ran as fast as he could along the designated route. The guy ran very fast, but the monster was still catching up and managed to attack him. SungHoon managed to dodge, and the monster only scratched his leg. The chase continued. The bait almost reached the target, but by accident, he stumbled on a tree root and fell to the ground. The monster was only a couple of steps away from him. SungHoon thought it was the end, but a machine gun burst was heard. The bullets hit their target, and the wounded monster fell to the ground. It seemed that the monster was injured but not dead. The monster's skin looked very tough. Despite the fact that they were shooting with a special weapon against monsters, there wasn't a scratch on it. Therefore, the monster got up and was ready to attack people with even greater ferocity. The hunters thanked Hun for his work and said that they would handle the monster from here on out. These hunters had killed numerous monsters and had a lot of experience fighting them. Despite the gravity of the situation, someone on the team even cracked a short joke, but there wasn't time for that. Getting ready for battle, a hefty bearded guy from the team used his tanking skill and a demonic taunting gaze, causing the monster to roar with anger. Another hunter used the wizard skill, multiple, maximized, great fireball. The flames hit the monster directly and hit their target perfectly. But the monster wasn't going to back down and ran towards the provoker, hitting him with its horn right into his shield. The bearded guy had immense strength and was able to hold the monster back. The hunters tactfully attacked the monster, taking turns delivering crushing blows. They acted in a coordinated manner and as if without any special effort. For them, it was routine and even brought some enjoyment. The decoy guy watched the battle from the sidelines. The huntress threw a fireball and a thunderous explosion resounded. The swordsman named Chan Sik was ready to deliver the final blow. He soared into the air and, swinging his sword, swiftly sliced the monster's body. It was remarkable how quickly and easily the hunters dispatched this giant monster. SungHoon was glad that the battle was over. His body was in pain, and he had almost lost his life. The hunters praised each other and thanked each other for the job. The decoy guy was disappointed that he never received any words of gratitude. He was just an ordinary person. Those who had gained power were called awakened. The decoy guy's work was clearly underestimated, despite the fact that he had to constantly risk his life. Workers in special clothing began to dismember the monster. The swordsman was slightly unhappy with SungHoon's mistake, but the bearded guy who financed the monster hunt paid SungHoon and in turn praised him. Yu Chan, the swordsman, was angry with the bearded guy for breaking discipline and being arrogant. But SungHoon didn't complain. He thanked him for the money and left. It all started when various disasters began to happen all over the world. Suddenly, a rift appeared in space, and hordes of monsters crawled out of it. Along with them came the awakened ones, who used their power to exterminate the beasts. People gained abilities regardless of their faith, age, or gender. Guys made fun of SungHoon's dream, who had finished college and dreamed of becoming a musician. Kim Yu-chan was an ordinary hooligan, but after awakening, he earned himself a name. The guys discussed that without connections, it was impossible to succeed. And those who do not have means and connections have no right to dream. But SungHoon considered them just stupid fools and did not pay attention to their words. He learned to play the piano, studied, and wrote music. He graduated from college and performed in amateur groups. For 28 years, he never achieved success. He earned 1.5 million won a day, working as a hired worker 4 times a month. It often did not work out, as he constantly received injuries at work and had to recover for a long time. The job was very risky, but if he died, there would be no one to take care of his mother, who lay in a coma. After the rift, Romy emerged in many people worldwide, complete loss of consciousness with no chance of recovery. Her life was artificially maintained by equipment. She had been in a coma for a year, but SungHoon did not lose hope. Chapter 2. North of the military demarcation line, there was a demilitarized zone. A portal opened up and a monster appeared. It was of unprecedented size and taller than the trees in the forest. Its appearance clearly indicated that it had malicious intentions. It was a hot summer day. The announcer on the television was talking about how, due to the impact of the portals, North Korea had become uninhabitable for the last 10 years and was now populated only by monsters. SungHoon got on his moped and set out on his journey, thinking about whether he would be able to pay for his mother's medical treatment this month. He earned about 6 million won a month, out of which 4 million went towards medical expenses and living expenses. He clearly needed more money because he had a goal. He was searching for ways to earn more money. It was hot, and he stopped to drink some water and saw a military vehicle next to some hunters. There were hardly any civilians in this area as it was close to a hunting zone. There were about 50,000 awakened people in the country. SungHoon watched the hunters with envy because he knew they earned good money from their trade. He used to compose music, but he didn't have time for that now, as he was too focused on earning money. He risked his life every day to be able to pay for his sick mother's treatment. He couldn't afford to doubt himself. So, he set out on his journey again until he realized that he was running out of fuel. He stopped at a gas station, where he saw a fearless girl refueling his moped. She was risking her life since this area could be attacked at any moment. He assumed that she was paid well for her job and gave her some bills. She was clearly full of energy, and SungHoon hoped that he too would be able to overcome his hardships soon. However, his current goal was to accumulate 10 billion won, which was required to buy a rank A monster called Mandrake. The flower on its head was considered a cure for all diseases. This was the only way to save his mother. From the depths of his thoughts, the boy retrieved a tank that had flown out onto the road and upon hitting the ground, exploded with tremendous force. The blast wave of the explosion lifted Hun's dream up. His last thoughts were of his mother. Everything went dark. But after some time, he woke up in an unfamiliar place. Opening his eyes, he saw an enormous dragon in front of him and thought it was a hallucination. A voice was heard. "Ha ha ha, how interesting. A pitiful human has managed to reach my level." Hun floated weightlessly. It was the legendary black dragon, Ackelman. Even among dragons, a magnificent creature that had established its superiority over demigods.
Want to know what happens to our heroes next? Then subscribe to our channel, like and write your thoughts in the comments, and we will definitely make a sequel. Thanks for watching and see you in a bit.